with a special guest, Patricia. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Is this your first podcast?
Yes.
It is?
Yes, it is.
We met in an event. We met in an event in Hialeah, my favorite place, Hialeah. And when we started talking, you said a whole bunch of interesting stuff that I think the community should know about. Right? I don't know if you want to talk a little bit.
Of course. Where do you want to start?
Well, start. What your name is, Patricia, your background, what you do, and then we'll take it from all these special events.
Absolutely. My name is Patricia Villa. I was born and raised in Miami. Went to Barry University.
Oh, nice.
And when I graduated from Barry, I started working at CNN.
Oh.
As a secretary here in Miami.
Nice.
And my dream was always to open up the CNN Havana Bureau. So in March of 1997, I moved to Havana. And I opened up the CNN Havana Bureau, and I lived in Havana for 4 years.
In Cuba?
In Cuba.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I lived in Cuba, so, everybody remembers Ilian. That was a big story that I covered for 7 months.
That's why you look so familiar.
Yes. That's what people say when I say,
I'm like,
yes.
Wait,
That's my past life.
So you lived in Miami, then you lived in Cuba for 4 years. How was that change?
It was difficult. It was challenging, but I really enjoyed it in the sense of that the Cuban people that I met, they were very loving, very friendly, didn't have very much, but whatever little they had, they always offered it. So that's something that I will cherish forever. And besides having the experience of working for CNN, being the first American TV station to come into the island since 1969 when the Associated Press was expelled by Fidel Castro. It was a very special moment in my life for me.
How did your parents, when you told your parents you're going to Cuba, or they were living there, or they were here?
No, my parents lived here because they fled communism in 1960, ended up in New Jersey, and they were always very supportive of all the goals that I wanted to achieve. And
so when you sat them down and told me you're going to Cuba?
And I told them that I was going to Cuba, and they understood. I wanted to know who I was. I wanted to know my roots. I wanted to know my family that I had never met. And tell stories. I loved being a storyteller, because remember, back in the day, people didn't have phones.
Right.
And it was a different form of communication.
Right.
So for me, I took that job very seriously of being the eyes and the ears of people, of the communities all over the world, to share what was going on in Havana and in Cuba.
I can't believe you did it for 4 years. Yeah. I went for a weekend and I was going crazy, but it was like maybe 10 years ago. It was a weekend that I went to Cuba to see it by myself, because I am a kind of person that I like to see stuff. And the first time I was like, okay, it's not that bad, but the second one, I was crying the whole time.
Yes. Since
I landed until I left, I was crying the whole time.
Well, that was my experience the very first time, because the first time I went was during the rafter crisis. And I went with $50,000 in cash. Because remember, back in the day, wiring was not, you couldn't wire to certain countries.
Yes.
So I went with $50,000 in cash. A camera crew, a camera, because ours had broken in Havana because of the